Hey, what's up guys? This is Paul with pipelinemoney.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to change limiting beliefs using a simple NLP technique. And if you decide to watch and pay close attention to this video all the way through, by the end of this video you'll understand and be able to use a simple conversational belief change technique that you can use to help yourself and others break through brick walls of the mind to move forward even more powerfully in life and business. You can use this newfound power to sell more products, grow a bigger income, experience more happiness, be more persuasive, help others grow, make the world a better place, and discover and share truth. So I'm really excited. I wanted to let you know also, these are some of my personal study notes and insights that I gleaned through a study of a book called The User's Guide to Sleight of Mouth by Doug O'Brien, How to Unleash the Magic of Language to Persuade Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere. My goal with this video is to take some powerful, complex ideas and make them simple for myself and you to use. The strategy that you're going to learn in this video, I'm calling the importance reframe. In the book and in NLP circles, they call it hierarchy of criteria, but that doesn't really mean a lot to a lot of people. And so I'm redubbing this the importance reframe, and you'll see why as we continue on here. My definition of the importance reframe is using an importance comparison to shift belief away from a meaning that's limiting or pain-inducing and onto something that helps us to see, do, or feel something more expansive and useful. Along with the examples, I want to share some foundational concepts. So the first one is, what is a belief? What does it look like? And shout out to Doug O'Brien from his book for giving us this really clear and easy to understand diagram. This is a visual representation of what a belief is. Every belief has something that causes an effect, and then there's an interpretation of meaning that the person has overlaid on the effect, the cause, or various relationships between these things. And so as we're working with people, we're going to be very aware of the beliefs that we and they have. And the way we're aware of these is that beliefs are expressed in language. So if we'll pay close attention to the words we use with ourselves and the words that we hear others saying, you and I will hear beliefs surface in language. And this is important to know because this is what we will be responding to if we want to respond in the most effective way using the importance reframe. Foundational concept number 2 is a definition of value, a simple definition of value. Here it is. This is more important than that. Pretty simple, right? And here's the third foundational concept. What is a reframe? You may or may not have heard of reframe, but it's going to be super important in this video, so I want to give a quick definition. There's a quote from Wayne Dyer that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And my question for you is it that the thing we're looking at changed, or was it that we changed and our perception changed, and therefore it seems that the thing we look at actually changed? Good question, right? So here's what a reframe is. There is a picture here of a big elephant, and we've probably all heard the quote, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This is used often when we have what seems to be an insurmountable goal or obstacle in front of us, to where when we look at that thing, it's like this huge elephant and we don't think there's any way we could ever achieve that goal or overcome that thing. But then what happens is someone will use words and say, hey, if you take it one bite at a time, it's possible. And all of a sudden that big elephant gets shrunk down to a manageable size. And what's really happened here is this huge elephant got a frame, and the frame was words around it. And the right words made this big, huge thing seem like not such a big deal. That's what a reframe is. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to use the importance reframe. In other words, how to use your words to reframe beliefs and ideas and perspectives that people have, ourselves included, that are not useful, that are not powerful, that are not serving us and them in the very best way. We can use words to wrap a frame around these these things. And this is what we're going to do with the importance reframe. So the fourth foundational concept is that these patterns will be most effectively received and implemented if they are phrased in the form of a question. So there's a quote from the book that says, "A question tends to elicit a need to consider, while a statement often elicits a need to counter." And that's from David Gordon. Warning, before we continue on, this will not have a snowball's chance in heck of working unless you have a state of trust and rapport with the person you're speaking with. So that's something to be very, very aware of. Here's the fifth foundational concept, and this is where we're going to introduce the pattern of the importance reframe. And I'm going to give you what the pattern looks like in a definitional form, and then I'll show you a practical example form of how we're going to fill in the blanks. So here's what the importance reframe is. It's when we make the value more important than the meaning that's being drawn from the relationship in the belief or the statement. What relationship? It's any part of this relationship, the cause, effect, or meaning. So basically what we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for a belief expressed in language that is incomplete or inaccurate in some way, and therefore it is producing a negative perception, which is also then causing a negative response in ourself or somebody else. So that's what we're looking for as far as relationship. So here's how it works is we'll ask questions like, isn't it more important to, and then we fill in the blank. And what do we fill in the blank with? We fill in the blank with a value. So we'll say, isn't it more important to be honest, love people, do things that can help you move forward, than to, and then we'll insert the negatively framed meaning that the person was drawing from the original belief statement. So this will all make sense as we get into some of these examples. So here are the examples. Here's an OG disempowering belief, and this was an example that Doug O'Brien used in the book. Saying mean things means you're a bad person. That's something that we're going to imagine we heard someone say. Here is the transforming conversational importance reframe question. Isn't it more important to leave judgment to God than to not love someone based on a few simple words they may have said on a bad day? See what we've done? We've inserted a value that could be more important than what the person was seeing at the moment. Isn't it more important to leave judgment to God, that's the value, than to not love someone based on a few simple words that they may have said on a bad day? Now I want to back up here for just a second, because this original belief said saying mean things means you're a bad person. So in this reframe, we're using a value that hopefully the person we're speaking with can agree with and resonate with and also hold in high esteem. And then we're saying, isn't that more important than? And then rather than saying, isn't that more important than recognizing bad people? You know, we're taking the bad person part and we're using our language to transform that idea into a more positive meaning. So here's what we did. Isn't it more important to leave judgment to God than to not love someone based on a few simple words they may have said on a bad day? So it's no longer a bad person, it's a few simple words someone may have said on a bad day. Do you see how that happens? And do you see how the mind kind of shifts a little bit? Because we're accepting those words that have been transformed a little bit that are describing the thing, but they're describing it in a way that is more positive or is more specific in a better example, or lots of ways we can change the words into something more positive and useful. So the second example, isn't it more important to love everyone, even our enemies, than it is to condemn someone based on something they could have said while having a bad day? Example 3, isn't it more important to give people the space to make mistakes than to put their soul in a prison for not knowing any better? I like that one. So now they're not a bad person anymore. Now the question is, are we the person that's going to put the other person's soul in a prison? When we hear it that way, it's kind of like, no, I don't want to be that type of a person. And that's the point of these conversational importance reframe questions that are also transformational when we use them in the right way. Here's the last one. Isn't it more important to hope that others will grow than to hold negative feelings for them in our hearts? So again, isn't this value that I can agree with and believe in, isn't that more important than this less than worthy idea that I have? Isn't this value more important? And as we're describing the less than worthy idea, we can use our language to transform that less than worthy idea into something a little bit different that we can also agree with, but is also sort of speaking to the thing that we had said before or the other person had said before. So here are some examples for sales. This stuff can be used in all areas of life with all relationships. I'm in sales and marketing, so here are some examples for sales. Prospect says, if I buy, I will lose money. Now, if a person believes that if they buy, they're going to lose money, probably not going to buy, right? And if our goal is to sell and produce income, it's important that we help people see that what we are selling might actually help them make money rather than lose money. So here's the statement. If I buy, I will lose money. Here are some importance reframe examples we could use. Isn't it more important to have faith and courage to take action than to focus on the possibility of not having all the money you could want in the future? That's hard to say no to, right? That's hard to disagree with. So we're taking what they said and we're reframing it in a way that is still truthful and accurate and also a representation of what they said, but in a way that is sort of like hard to disagree with. And then it leads us to see things in a different way so that we can then move forward doing the thing that's going to help us. Here's another example. Isn't it more important that we buy things that can help us earn all the money we could ever want than to stay stuck in a place that's not going to create the change we desire? Third question, isn't buying something that has the potential to give you all the money you could ever want or need more important than not making a decision to get started? So we're still using the same pattern, right? And what's the pattern? What's the importance reframe in a nutshell? Isn't this good thing more important than that bad thing? It's pretty simple, right? When you read these books, it sometimes can feel really, really complicated and complex. Hopefully, I've broken it down in a way that seems and feels simple, because if it feels simple and you can say to yourself, I got it, I got it, I got it, you're going to be likely to implement it. And that's what I want to challenge you to do, is I want to challenge you to be aware of this importance reframe and use it. Use it on yourself. When you find yourself in a disempowering state, ask yourself, isn't moving forward in a powerful way so I can serve myself and others in the best way more important than staying stuck in this spot where I'm allowing my imagination to hold me back from serving all of those people? And you can really create a lot of change in yourself when you learn to ask yourself these questions. And as you're practicing on yourself and having conversations with other people, be looking for the beliefs that are expressed from the people you're communicating with. And if you just want to do it in your mind, you can just do it in your mind. You can play a little game and say, what kind of question would I ask? Isn't this more important, or doesn't this seem more important? And you can do that in your mind, and you can even start to practice these questions out loud. And the more you practice them, the better and better and better you'll continue to get at using these in your normal conversation. And if we're using these in our normal conversation in a powerful way, we can literally be walking around transforming people in a good way, helping them to transform, I should say, so that they can see new things, see better things, see more positive things, and move forward in life in the very best way possible. So that, my friend, is how to change a limiting belief using a simple NLP technique so you can be a potential unleashing machine. Doesn't that sound like a lot of fun? If you got value from this video, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. You can do that at pipelinemoney.com/YouTube, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just hit the subscribe button. Or if you want to see how I went from living in a single wide trailer to retiring debt-free at 40, visit pipelinemoney.com and subscribe to my email list. This is actually the ultimate way to stay connected, get my best content, and not miss out on what I teach in the future. So thanks for watching. Whatever you do, always go for your dreams. This is Paul Hutchings of pipelinemoney.com signing out. Make it a great day, and bye for now.